Ambassador Falchion Heelgar at your service.
What's going on, my friends? Dom from the Game Looters here. If you had asked me a few months ago whether Avowed would be one of my favorite experiences of 2025, I probably would have laughed. You know, hee hee, haha, all that good stuff. Because, well, I did enjoy games like The Outer Worlds. I wasn't exactly hype for Obsidian's next big RPG. Of course, like most folks, it wasn't on my radar, but I wasn't like, oh, I gotta play it day one. But let me tell you right now, Avowed came in and completely changed my mind. This game is an adventure in every sense of the word. It's not trying to reinvent the RPG genre, but what it does so damn well that I found myself thinking about it when I wasn't even playing. And to me, that's the greatest mark of a great game. When you're just going about your day, doing your normal life things and thinking, man, I can't wait to jump back in and explore more. I can't wait to go do that bounty. I can't wait to go do that quest. That's exactly what Avowed did to me, and I love it for it. Now, that's not to say that the game's perfect. There are things it could have definitely done better, and we'll talk about that. But between its world, its combat, and the sheer fun of playing the game, Avowed managed to be one of the biggest surprises for me for this year. So let's break it down. Let's talk about the story, the gameplay, the world, the high, the lows, all that stuff, and whether this is a game that you need to play. Let's talk about it. So first off, the story. Avowed throws you into the role of a godlike, a rare individual marked by divine power. The problem, though, you have no idea which god blessed you, or cursed you, depending how you look at it. And the entire game is about unraveling that mystery, while dealing with an even bigger crisis, the Dream Scourge. This game takes place in the Living Lands, and it's a wild and untamed region filled with bizarre flora, deadly creatures, and ancient secrets. Something is twisting the world. It's your job to figure out why. You're sent here as an envoy of the Empire that, let's be honest, probably doesn't have your best intentions in mind. And along the way, you'll meet fascinating companions, uncover forgotten history, and you'll make choices that actually feel impactful. Whether they are or not is, you can decide that. I'll be real with you. The first few hours of the game is pretty heavy on the exposition, so it's going to be a love or hate thing here. It throws a lot of lore, a lot of history, and faction drama at you from the start. And it can feel overwhelming. It didn't to me. I loved it. I ate it up. But I can understand how some may not see it that way. If you're someone who loves deep world building, you're going to eat it up, just like I did. But if you're just here for the fun adventure, you'll just have to push through the initial lore dump before the real stuff, the real intrigue starts to kick in. Once it does, though, man, it gets good. As you progress the game, it's going to give you some serious moral dilemmas. There's never really a quote-unquote right answer, because everything you do it's your choice. Every faction has its own motivations, and every choice you make is going to piss someone off regardless. Kill that person, piss them off. Let them go, piss them off. Meet in the middle and let someone else deal with it, piss two people off. It's just the way that things work. The weight of consequence is something Obsidian does better than most. I felt it in Outer Worlds, and I feel it once again here. Now, the gameplay. This is a fight your way type deal. Let's be honest, when we all first saw the gameplay footage, it looked a little rough, right? It was like, is this Skyrim with Unreal Engine? But after playing it myself, the combat feels fantastic. It's fast, fluid, and most importantly, it's fun. And I think that's what matters, right? It doesn't get boring, and it's fun. Avowed plays like an action RPG, meaning everything happens in real time. You're not locked into a specific class, so you can switch between melee, range, magic, whatever you want. One moment you're slinging fireballs like a wizard, the next you're pulling out a sword and shield to get up close and personal. Hell, you can even dual wield guns if that's your thing. The flexibility here is one of the best parts of the game. The combat feels weighty and satisfying, and what really surprised me is how impactful each of the different builds that you're going to have are going to feel. I personally went full-on magic for my playthrough, stacking all my attribute points into intellect and perception. The payoff? Absolute freaking destruction. But if you want to play a full-blown warrior, you could dump everything into might and constitution and just brute force your way through everything. The skill trees let you tailor your playstyle to whatever feels right. And that's something that I genuinely appreciate because everybody can have a little different, unique experience. Isn't that cool? I mean, I think so. Enemy encounters feel challenging, but they're fair. The game uses a skull system to indicate difficulty. 1 skull means you could probably handle it, 2 skull means you might struggle, and 3 means, well, you better prepare or just run for your life. Trust me, sometimes you're running into the fact that getting the hell out is the best option. This game also nails the risk versus reward system. Stronger enemies drop better loot. Duh, right? The best gear, though, is often hidden behind dangerous encounters. There were so many times I found myself thinking, should I just try and take this fight or should I come back later? But when I actually won, the feeling was extremely satisfying. All right, the world and the exploration of the living lands. Exploration in Avowed is rewarding as hell. Like, it is awesome. This game wants you to go off the beaten path and it rewards you for doing so. Every time I wandered into a random cave or climbed up seemingly unreachable ledge, I found something. Rare loot, a secret quest, or even an NPC with a full-on side story that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. The Living Lands itself is gorgeous. The game embraces a vibrant, high fantasy art style filled with colorful landscapes, bioluminescent plants, and wild environments that make every area feel unique. Whether I was traversing a fungal-infested swamp, gross, exploring ancient ruins, or just taking in the view from a high cliff, I was constantly impressed by how well designed the world is. The game is also heavily encourages vertical exploration, jumping, climbing, parkouring through areas, something unlocking hidden routes or entire new sections of the map is encouraged. There were even environmental puzzles where I had to use magic to freeze water or create a bridge or use fire to burn down obstacles. These little details make exploration feel engaging and fun instead of just running from point A to point B. Another thing I have to mention here is the sound design. Lootable objects make a twinkling sound when you're nearby, which led to some serious treasure hunting moments. It's honestly one of the best things. I hear that little jingle and I'd suddenly be tearing apart an entire building or, trying to at least just to find that one hidden chest. It's a small touch, but it adds a really cool level of immersion to the game. All right, performance and graphics, we won't spend much time here. I played on Xbox Series X personally, and I played in performance mode. Overall, I thought the game looked absolutely fantastic. There were some minor issues like weird FPS drops in certain dialogue scenes, but nothing that ruined the experience or took me out of it, as people say. You could choose between different visual settings, 60 FPS mode, a 40 FPS balance mode, or 30 FPS graphics mode. If you want the prettiest version of the game, for me, performance mode was always the way to go. The fluidity of the gameplay made the slight dip in graphical fidelity worth it, but you can always choose a different mode, or you can play on PC and just tailor it to how you want to play. Avowed isn't just about being super hyper realistic. It embraces stylized and a fantasy aesthetic, and honestly, it just works. The game's bright, colorful, and full of personality, which makes every environment pop. And that's what really matters here is the artistic level, not the graphical level. All right, let's put a button on it. Avowed is one of my biggest surprises of the year. I went into this game with virtually zero expectations. I slung the fences, I slung my wallet for that premium edition, and it ended up just blowing me away. The story takes a bit to get going, but once it does, it hooks you. The combat is fast, it's flexible, and it's fun, letting you build your character however you want. The world is vibrant and rewarding to explore, and even though there are a few minor issues, none of them took away from my experience. So after spending countless hours in Living Lands, here's my final score. Avowed from us gets a surprising 9 out of 10. When I was putting this together, I was teetering somewhere between 8, 8.5, and 9. And I landed on more towards 8.5. I was like, you know what? F it. This game impressed me so much, it's getting a 9 out of 10 from me. And that's what I'm sticking with. If you're an RPG fan, this game is a game that you need to check out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and subscribe for more RPG content. I'll see you in the next one. And make sure to leave those comments with if you played it. I'm interested in reading them. See you next one, guys. Peace out.